Midwest Sports Net is at the Red River Reunion here in Arlington, Texas. I'm with Brian Bosworth right now, who is a big-time part of the Red River Shootout over the years. First off, Brian, this is all about a fundraiser for the American Heart Association. That's a big part of why you and a number of other legends of this game are here today. Can you talk about this fundraiser and what it means?
Well, no question. The heart is the engine that we have to count on, and we take it for granted, and yet we abuse it almost every single day. So we've got to be aware and smart about what we're doing with our bodies on a day-to-day basis. The things that we put in our body, what we ask our body to do on an everyday basis, the things that we don't do for our body, like get up and exercise and do things in the yard because we would rather somebody else do it. Get out there, exercise, keep your heart strong, healthy, get it checked. I've had so many people, a lot of my friends. I just turned 60, but it seems like right in the age of 50 to 60, you need to go get your heart tested and find out where it stands so that you don't get a surprise, and we don't like surprises when we're talking about the heart.
Absolutely not. Of course, the American Heart Association is the sponsor for the Bear Bryant Award. That's a big part of this as well. Brian, you've been a part of this game. You never lost.
Never lost.
Never lost. Now there's a tie in there somewhere.
I'm not even going to count the ties as a tie. That was a win. We knew, they knew, the whole world knew, but the referees decided to do it a different way.
The way I saw it in the paper was 15 to 12 to 3.
That's exactly the way it was.
Talk about playing in the Red River Shootout and what it means to be a part of this game.
You know what? People always used to say, you're a Texas kid, so, why didn't you go to the University of Texas? And I correct them, no, I'm in Oklahoma, born and raised in Texas, held captive until I could go home. Many memories of watching the OU Texas game, always dreamed of being able to play for the University of Oklahoma. I made a promise to my grandfather in 1974 that he said, if you're good enough, I'll come watch you play, because he could never leave the farm. And I used to ask my grandma, where's the school that he says that I have to go to so he'll come watch me play? She goes, oh, that's the University of Oklahoma, the little school that's down the street. They're pretty good. So I made that promise, and I did everything I could to fulfill that promise. And one of the biggest perks of playing for the University of Oklahoma and for the University of Texas is you get to square off in Dallas every single year. The Red River rivalry is unreal. It's unmatched. I think it's probably the best rivalry in college football. Splitting the stadium, the hatred, the intensity, the emotion that goes into both winning and losing. It's just an amazing feeling. And for me to be able to go out there, not only participate, but make a measurable impact on that game for years and years to follow, and still be just such a big fan of it. I get sick to my stomach every time we start to kick off, and it never calms down until I look at the scoreboard and we can do this because we have permission.
All right. Absolutely. I think lots of times it happens even without permission.
Sometimes it does.
That's a part of it. If you do a Google search, by the way, for Brian Bosworth right now, I grew up in Southern Oklahoma. I know you as a football player. It also says American actor. Of course, you're the sheriff.
Fansville. That's right. Yeah.
That's a big part. But you're also a person of faith.
That is true.
Talk about the different aspects, but really talk about that as well. What that means to you.
Well, it's not like I didn't know the man. Certain things in people's life happens, and sometimes we, as humans, we like to put blame, on the things that happen. And unfortunately, I lost my career, and due to the circumstances we're going through at that particular time, I just chose to look in the mirror and blame everybody, including him, but myself. And we all have, our own accountabilities on how we get through our lives. I have 4 questions: where you from, where you at, where you going, and what are you willing to give up to get there? The most important thing that we have down here on earth is our ability to make choices. God gives us that free will to do that. But our internal moral compass allows us to make the right choices. And if we can find the courage to follow those moral compasses, we'll find our way home, and home is with Jesus Christ. I didn't get saved until March 3rd, 2013, and that's when I ended my grudge with God. And it's ever since then, it's just been an amazing blessing day after day. And I try to share that message with as many people as possible who have ears to listen and a heart to want.
All right, well, I appreciate you sharing it right here with us today as well. Last question as we wrap it up then, what does it take for the Sooners to get a win in 2025?
Well, it's an ebb and flow game. It's a game that always plays on emotion. It usually comes down to mistakes. This game this year is uniquely challenging because both offenses have really not found their own rhythm, but the defenses are solid on both sides. So to me, the team that makes the fewest mistakes eliminates the cheap scores, the turnovers, the scooping scores, the interception for returns, the punt returns, the kick returns, plays good solid football for 4 straight quarters. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, but I like my Sooners and I like them. How about 17-9? How about that?
All right,
17-9.
we'll take that number. Brian Bosworth, Oklahoma Sooner great, here with us on Midwest Sports Net. Thank you for taking time with us today as we raise money for the American Heart Association for the Bear Bryant Award. God bless you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.